What's going on, YouTube and D Live? This is Solace on Forge for Dungeons and Taverns. We're playing the Dirty 20 today, and last week's session, Asgrim got in contact with the Emil Alda herself, turned into a treant, a gargantuan-sized treant, and they're heading on their way to KazGador right now to see if they can make some type of diplomacy with the dwarves to form a defense against the incursion of the undead coming in through Mordavia through the swamp. Um, as Asgrim was lifted up into the air by the treant, he was able to see that Miller's Crossing, not in great detail but due to how far away they are, but from the height, he was able to see that there was a lot of smoke and burning buildings. So let's go and see if the dwarves of KazGador are going to offer any assistance to Asgrim, to River and Hearth, and to the elves themselves as they fight off this undead incursion and the monsters from Barrymore. So Asgrim, you find yourself in the grasp of Emil Alda herself, and you are on your way with the Supreme Sentinel, and she has taken the form of Emil Alda herself, and so the deity is transferring their presence through this individual who is rooted into the throne. So they're acting as the heart beat, so to speak, of this treant, and you are in this internal chest cavity uh, compartment that is hollowed out essentially now, because that's how you entered in. It was through a hollow, and so you're basically inside the being, inside the skeletal structure of this being. And so the tree is picking up speed, and you're in there with Jinx. Is there anything you wanted to say to Jinx? Because he's not used to this. He's trying to hang on to roots and things.
Sorry, Jinx, it looks like we got sidetracked. But we are gonna get to the other matters that just priorities to deal with first.
It seems like with you, there's a lot of priorities that come up a lot that interfere with uh, your initial your initial plans. But I'm having an adventure at least, so I'm sure we'll get back to it. As hopefully my ship's safe in the harbor.
If nothing else, you'll have a story for the grandchildren.
Ah, yes, they do like their stories. Little Emily and Marcus around the campfire at in the wintertime with the snow falling down. They enjoy my stories of travel and trade. It's tales of sea monsters.
I would believe you. The young ones do seem to like tales of adventure.
But what about you? Where do you call home?
At the moment, even
Excuse me, sorry. So again,
at the moment, Rivenhut.
have have you been there since they started constructing, or um, what did you order them to do initially when they get there? Who was the first group to be sent there? I guess I have quite a few questions about this settlement.
Well, the first ones to go there was the orcs and the goblins, and then some humans. Then we had some elves, some night elves, some.
So it's truly going to be a mix mash of cultures.
Indeed.
Ah, this has been tried several times and has failed several more.
Yes, but you can always hope for the best and prepare for the worst.
While where there's different cultures, though, there's ample chances for profit, as each culture, each race, this representation will eventually grow and grow to the point where each race would be considered its own city until you have a mega city, and that mega city is going to need a lot of supplies funneled to and from it.
Indeed.
But the water there is not deep enough. The channel is not wide enough for anything but shore boats.
Oh, we thought of that already.
The engineering marvel that it would require to create that a harbor or a canal wide enough is going to cost quite a bit of coin and quite a bit of materials.
Uh, that is true, but it's not like we're going anywhere. If we can just do it section at a time, and then
I
at
could
one point.
I could tell you that I'm friends with the requisitions officer in Dahlia Carnassus, and Robert's his name. And what Robert's job is in the bazaar district. He all the goods that are made, all the goods that are imported, and all the items that are waiting to be exported down to the docks by well, usually the young children, the young boys, young teenage boys who are carting the items from the bazaar district to the docks and vice versa. Um, so Robert has these goods, right? And not all of them have been assigned to people already. Some of them are going to be set out uh, for sale to various markets and bazaars around the city. You see, the city of Dahlia Carnassus is rather huge, and it's divided into 6 different quarters, and each quarter has 2 or 3 different districts. And so these supplies, Robert oversees them until they are divvied out to the districts. But in the meantime, people can come in there and purchase those supplies. So what I'm saying to you is that you can purchase bulk building supplies at a reasonable cost. Of course, the way you ship them is up to you. Quite a many things that you might need: cement, stone, bricks, marble, cut lumber, uncut, furniture, clay, jewels, coin, raw iron, really anything you need, mithril, anything you need, resinium crystals, even.
Well, to begin with, it's just basic tools we need. And I do believe the ones I purchased from you would be sufficient to begin with, until we figure out how much we have.
Ah, yes, of course, of course. I was just planning for the future, my friend.
Yeah, it's always useful information to have, but one step at a time.
Of course, of
Also,
course.
we need to figure out what kind of resources we have in the region.
Well, I've traveled through the region a bit. I could probably tell you a little bit of what I know.
Oh, we actually have a team out surveying, like I told you yesterday.
Ah, very yes, very well. Okay then.
But we do know that we have a reasonably high quality of clay in the region.
Yes, the region is very full. It's very full of clay, less sand, and it's very good for pottery for sure. It definitely even is better than it's more superior than I'd say the clay from Samaria, as that clay is a little bit more sandy.
So it's actually going to be good for sculpting. Hmm.
Yes, and Samaria would even though they have their own clay, would even ship in superior clay because they love sculpting down there.
Interesting.
Some of the world's most top three renowned sculptors have came from there. It's well, I don't know if you heard of the WIT or not, but they it's a school that I understand that students who have a very good gift for the magical arts is able to attend, and most of the attendees there tend to also become sculptors as part of their training.
Hmm.
I understand it's in the construction of clay golems.
Yeah, we should really take a sample and bring it to them and see what they say.
Well, we could take my boat Swan Song, and if you want, we can head on over.
Maybe,
It wouldn't be
but
it wouldn't be too much for a boat that glides over the water, would it?
oh no, I was just thinking of taking maybe enough to make something for one statue or something like that. So a few £100 or something like that.
That would be wonderful. But say, I was thinking, didn't you say that you well, you didn't say, but you were traveling with people, correct?
I were, but I don't know where they went.
Well, I was thinking about that problem. And where do you think they would go?
I have no idea.
You haven't given that a thought even?
I have, but one of them is
Because
kind of
because
a
I
scattered brain, so they might fly to anywhere the mind might wander. The other one would follow that person, and the third one would kind of
What's
just
up, James?
tag along.
Well, they you said it was I believe you said before it was some type of path of travel or something like that.
Hmm.
And so if they went somewhere and you didn't know where they went, then it's reasonable to assume that they also don't know where you went.
Indeed,
So if that's the case, why did the tree here? Why did the tree bring you here?
because I decided to go here.
So where do you think they would decide to go? And and do you think they all decide to go somewhere different?
No, like I said, there's one of them that's kind of a scattered mind and kind of get follow the flight of fancy. So no saying why they went. Then there's the fighter that most definitely would follow the first one because I actually think he loves her. Um,
Oh, well, that's very sweet.
yeah, and then the last one just kind of tags along. So yeah, it might be in three different places, but I do not believe the three are in more than that.
Here, oh, here. Well, so where do you feel like the first one would want to go then? Because I could bring you anywhere, and I assure you, I could bring you where they're at faster than they could come find you. I don't know much about them except from the limited time that I vaguely remember from back in the Fae. Whenever that was, I can't even remember the time that was. I just remember it did happen. But
Well, you only met one of them there.
um, which one was that? The big one, right?
Fox, yes.
The big one. Right. So between you and the big one, I would say you have more of a chance of finding the big one than the big one does of finding you.
Well, I have been thinking about that, and I think the best
Oh,
way of
kill it with a
finding it.
diamond. Yo, thanks, dude.
I have been thinking about that, and I think the best way of finding each other again would actually be to stay around the land that we acquired.
That that does seem prudent, but is your lands not about to be invaded by forces of the undead nature?
That's why I'm trying to defend it and find allies to help us.
But once you find the allies, you yourself do not have to do any of the fighting. It would be wise
I
to.
actually think I would be a bigger detriment than a benefit on the battlefield.
So therefore, we should. I concur, and I myself am not a dynamo on the battlefield whatsoever. My men do the fighting for me, and I pay them well to do it. But those men are located on a ship, the Swan Song, that's in the harbor of, where Emil Alda was. I don't know if this currently, if this route's back in place or moves location. I do not know how this works, honestly. And the matron says, once hostilities are concluded, and once the business with the dwarves is finished, to determine whether we shall receive aid or perhaps an enemy. Once these are determined and the battle has been concluded, if we are to have survived, we will root back in place where we previously were, as all of our buildings and structures are still there. If our buildings and structures happen to be destroyed while we're gone, though, then I don't know. I just thought of that right currently. Let's hurry. And then she starts moving faster. Boom, 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 boom. And then Jinx says to you, "Well, if I'm looking for information on the whereabouts of your friends, the place I would look would be the place that would have the most chance for success, the place with the highest access to contacts. And I assure you, I have many contacts in Dahlia Carnassus."
Well, I need to go to Dahlia Canassus anyway, so maybe when our business concluded and I've had a quick stop in Clock Sneak, then maybe we can go there and see what we can figure out.
You wish to go to Clog Sneak after this?
Yes, there's a person there I need to find.
And the matron says to you that we can either hold on a second, let me think about this. Out of character, let me think about this.
Well, the easiest thing would be to set me up there on the way
Yeah,
down.
I got it. I was trying to think of how to word it. She says to you, you can either seek access to KazGador and the treasures of the dwarves have in the market in the arboretum, or I can take you to Clogsneak, and you will arrive there within the day.
Well, we should get to Cascador first, and then on the way down, there's the option of just dropping me off in Clocksneak.
Be aware that we will be going past Miller's Crossing, and there's no way around it unless we go through the shallower parts of the ocean. Do you fancy yourself a swimmer?
I can swim, but I'm not a strong swimmer.
if we swim across and avoid Miller's Crossing, we can avoid most, if not all, of the hostilities, and probably the boats along the way. But it will require you to have immense times where you need to hold your breath. I can try to hold you above the water in certain areas, but I will have to use my hands to swim.
Well, I do have some abilities in magic, so
The choice is yours, young half elf. Traveling either way, traveling with me is a lot safer through these areas now that the undead menace has been released from Mordavia into the swamps. The way to Clog Sneak is through the jungle, yes, but that jungle is going to be infested with undead. Who knows what else will be in that jungle?
that is true.
May I ask what you need to go to Clog Sneak for?
I need to get the services of a certain goblin down there.
Services for what?
I am trying to build a certain device, and I was told that he could help me.
Yo, James, thanks for the diamond again, man. I appreciate that. You're helping me out. I can't wait for you to see my system I'm working on. I think you're gonna like it. I think so. I really do.
I have no idea how to pronounce this, but the goblin I'm looking for is called Adicus. Prusrai.
Atticus. Atticus Presarion.
Maybe.
I see.
You spelled it P-S-O-R-Y-E.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Okay. Right. The last part is just Rye, so.
Yeah, she's given his the actual name.
Okay.
Atticus is a great inventor. One of the most prideful of the goblins that I've encountered. His work with gears and cogs is unparalleled on this continent.
I understand why he was recommended to me then.
But he doesn't create just for anybody. What do you need him to create? Your PC went out. Oh shit, dude. I'm sorry. Oh, I hate when that happens. Hey Dova, thanks for the subscription. Yo, you're a legend, bro.
I take out the plans and show them. I am planning to get this built.
Dova, I have a feeling that you're going to be getting a copy of my system early. And then so you pull out your plans and she arcs over and looks and you hear all the roots and things that's holding her in place cracking. And it's more like she's sort of like a dryad at this point from all the roots and things that are lashing her to the throne. But you know, she is an elf, and so she looks over at the plans and she says, "My, that's an interesting vehicle."
Indeed. I thought it would be useful in my travels.
And where may I ask where your travels bring you to next, young half elf?
Wherever the wind blows.
Well, after we visit Clogsneak, I can bring you to one further location. Where would you like to go?
Oh, I'm trying to remember the map in my head now, and feeling hard.
I'll pull it up for you, bro. You want the kingdom map or the world map?
The one where I can see the most, where of the area where I can see like Clock Sneak, KazGador, and all that,
All right.
and Alder and all. So Emil Alder's out there, KazGador's out there. Desmond's Crossing, West KazGador, Oh, Clock Sneaks all the way the fucking down there. Jesus.
Yeah, feel free to draw on or whatever you need. Because honestly, it'll help me know what to create for you. Because I love theater of the mind, don't get me wrong, but I also love making maps.
So we're going from here to there right now. And then we would have to go all the way down here. See, that wouldn't actually make much sense. It would actually make more sense for me to stop in Miller's Crossing. Or try to get back to Emil Alder so we can take the ship.
Yep, the swan song is right here.
Yeah. Because then we could just go that way around. And then from there we could go there. So yeah, I think that's how it's gonna be. It's gonna be
Thanks, dude.
I think it's gonna be like Emil Alder to KazGador and then back to Emil Alder and then she can go to Miller Crossing. And then we can take the Swan Song. But wouldn't the Swan Song be down here?
Yeah, you're right. I think I put it in the wrong place. My mistake. Yeah. Yep, that's the intended bay. Ah, come on. Well, I'll delete it and just put, yeah. Boop. Well, actually, it's a little bit. It's actually a little bit further out than that. It's just out. It's just outside the bay.
2, 3, 4.
Because it's too big to fit in the freaking bay. So you're going to KazGador and then back to Emil Alda, to go across the water to Clogsneak. You're bypassing Miller's Crossing.
Because it would make no sense for her to go past the undeads that are already fighting there.
Right. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right. So I know I know how to make the maps and stuff. Cool. I can't wait because I know you love goblins, out of character. So I can't wait till you see that city. I've been waiting. I've been waiting years for you to get to that city.
I've actually been trying to go there for almost a year now.
Yo, James, the legend. Yo, thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I appreciate all of you guys so much. All right. All right, dude. So, did you want to go? Are you ready to go to the other map now, or did you want to keep looking at this one or something?
Uh, just looking at my notes, seeing if it was Dahlia Canassus I needed to go to, and then actually I have 2 errands in Dahlia Canassus.
What are those?
Well, I need to talk to the halfling, and then I need to deliver a letter.
Oh yeah, for the bank, right?
Well, that too, and then I have the bank for the biggest nest for the sister.
Okay. All right.
For Lycia. Oh, she's in Lycia. What the fuck is Lycia? I can't even see it on your map.
Lycia.
Yeah. For Mildred in Lycia, at the biggest nest.
Lycia. That's the city that Solid was from. That's above Coventry.
Oh, she's. Why the fuck did you tell me it was over by Dahlia Canassus then?
Yeah, you see it?
Yeah, it's up there.
Okay. Okay. Cool. What did you have to do in?
I have a letter from Mildred.
I know there was a few things you had to do in Dahlia Carnassus. I remember you were looking for some type of armor or something.
No, 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 no.
No.
Oh no. The armor I'm gonna get Fergus to make me.
Uh huh.
But
Fergus is in Strigoli.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
But in Dahlia Canassus, I have the letter for the bank. But I also have to talk to a halfling.
Okay. All right. Cool. So you ready to continue?
Yeah.
All right. Oh, let me get your character here. Hmm. There we go.
I can see myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you able to move yourself?
Yes,
All right. Cool. I wasn't sure if the copied all the rules and shit too.
it should.
All right. Cool.
But you might want to adjust the size.
Yeah. 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 All right. So the giant treant wades through the forest of smaller trees, and the valley that is starting to have it's starting to get colder because you're climbing up in height, going up over the hills, and then eventually the pine trees thicken, and you end up crossing a small river, and you soon enough find yourself at the entrance of this really large grand mountain. It, it has a stalactite hanging in the middle of this entrance, splitting the entrance down into two, leading and both of those two converge into the same area. So this is acting like a natural barrier for entry, and excuse me, and in both segments of this, there are patrols and dwarven guards, and there's some that are training behind them with bows and arrows, and but the main forces that you see up front are wearing this bright mithril armor that have tower shields and a full helm, and they're all standing guard, and once this gargantuan tree comes into view, they kind of have like a steely resolve that they think that they're about to be attacked, and you're close enough at this point that you can say something if you wish before they attack. And I roll initiative.
Evening, proud dwarfs. We come not as emissaries of war, but as emissary of hope.
And this dwarf, who is very old and withered, even for a dwarf, he doesn't even walk straight. He kind of has like a crooked spine, but he looks up and he says, "Eh,
Actually, I'll say it in Dwarven.
what'd you say your name was?"
I never said my name, but I am Asgrim of Rivenheart.
"Eh, Rivenheart. I never heard of Rivenheart, Asgrim. You could call me Rory."
It's an honor, Rory.
What?
But I can understand why you haven't heard of Rivenheart. It's a rather new settlement.
Whereabouts is this Rivenheart?
To the south by the vernal pools.
I I know the vernal pools. Our own river ends and terminates in the vernal pools. There could be quite a bit of gold down there.
Hmm. That is useful information.
Yeah,
I
gold
thank you.
gold from our mountain goes down the river, and the lighter pieces don't settle down here at the bottom of our mountain. They travel, and so when they travel, they break off into the different areas of the pools. So yeah, if you pan for gold, I'm gonna let you know that you're gonna be able to find gold. It's not gonna be like a huge amount, but it's gonna be continuous.
That is indeed useful information.
You're very welcome. So, I need to ask you why you came here, who you are, where I need to know why you're traveling the way you just did here. Are you a threat to us?
As I said, we come not as emissary of war, we come as emissaries of hope.
All right, James.
I do not know how much you know of what is happening to the south on this continent.
The Deadens,
Indeed, the Deadens.
they can't get through our city walls.
But you would need to be able to get out.
Oh, we have a way out the back.
In time,
I
they
shouldn't
will.
have said that. I shouldn't have said that to a foreigner.
No, but in time they will also find that, or at least surround the entire mountain. They do not need to eat or sleep as you do. So I came in hopes of renewing the old defensive pact of 13 blah 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 blah. I can't remember because I was an idiot and didn't write down the year.
Oh, the Defense Pact of 13, blah, 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 blah. Ah, why did you have to bring that up? That's old. I do believe in traditions, but those traditions seem to have been broken millennia ago.
Well, they were not broken by the people who you think broke them, because the elves did not take your drum. And to prove that, I brought Emil Alder herself. I switched to common and call back. Um, will you please tell this dwarf what you told me about the bow and the drum?
He's not actually that big. I just made him that big so you can see him.
Yeah, I thought so.
He was hit with an enlarged spell when you showed up.
He was trying to make himself look big due to the treant.
Right.
Puffing up his chest and everything.
Right. So he says to you, so what are you looking for exactly?
I am hoping to combine all the races as of old to face a common foe that will annihilate us all if left unchecked.
Where is your hometown? It's not Rivenhearth, since that's a new town, as you said. Where are you from originally?
Across the seas.
Are there undead forces across the seas too?
Yes, but not in this amount, no.
Do you think we should just surrender Mordavia to them and hold them at bay there?
I believe that would be unwise.
Do you think we can save the valley?
I believe it would be better to try and close the portal.
The portal to where?
The Shadowfell.
How do you know such portal? Have you seen it?
I have not seen it, but we have reports of it. We have text of old of it, and yes, we do believe that if we are able to close off this portal and defend the southern borders, we would be able to fend off this threat.
And Jinx says, how do you propose we close this portal?
I am not one of great magical powers.
I can offer the assistance of my ship to you and your friends, he cuts you off. And said, but I myself am not a fighter. But if the portal to the Shadowfell is over there somewhere, as you say, going around them instead of through them would make sense for your group.
Indeed, it would.
Once you find them.
It would be much appreciated.
Well, my ship is yours.
You honor me.
Provided you can pay for our food.
You do not have to worry. I will find a way to do so.
Do we need to arm the cannons?
I do believe it would not hurt to arm the cannons.
Well,
It's
then we shall have to procure gunpowder at Klogsneek.
well, good thing we're going there then.
We could have purchased more and for cheaper at Miller's Crossing, but you said it's unsalvageable, right?
I believe. I hope for it to
That is weird,
be
James.
saved. I hope that it can be saved, but I fear that it is lost. Yes.
And the matron says, I have seen numerous ships leaving Miller's Crossing docks. The majority of those individuals were safe. Amongst them were mostly halflings, I believe from the remnants of the Battle of Grammondale.
Hmm. I've had the run-in with a few of those in the past. Good people.
Some of them yet survive.
That's that's good to know. That their stories that didn't end in sadness. But I
Some
turned
some of them, then she says, some of them are making their way here now.
I turned to the dwarf. As you hear, it's far worse to the south than you might believe, and that is why we're here. To call upon the stories of old and hopefully the support of your queen.
And,
And
and Rory says, do you seek an audience with the Queen?
at least her support to in this endeavor to secure our lands from this threat. Yes. And maybe indeed secure our borders from another threat, that is your neighbors, one that keeps kidnapping the people of all our lands. United, I do believe that they will not be able to defend against us, and we would remove that threat as well without much trouble, without far less trouble than what we face to the south, indeed. And that indeed would benefit all our nations, all, all our people, our loved ones. We would no longer fear being kidnapped when they're out gathering resources, surveying the land, out on trade. How many have you not heard speak of sadness of loved ones not returning from a simple trip?
This this is true. However, most of our problems are from that putrid black dragon Quinthriax. Are you alone?
I am the sole representative of Rivenheart and Coventry, yes.
If Rivenheart, and especially this Coventry, wish for our assistance, why did they not send for us sooner? And why is it you, some person I've never heard of, no offense to you, and not King Bernard?
Because King Bernard has fallen ill, and
No.
it's his son is indeed stepping up, and seeing that I am a friend of both, they asked me to contact both the Earls of Emil Alder and you. Um, I forgot his name again. King Bernard's friend, the one from the mountain, the other dwarf.
Jorgen?
Yeah,
King
Jorgen.
Jorgen.
King Jorgen has already pledged his troops to in the defense of this cause.
What of his Archmage Crispin?
He went to talk to. Oh. Um, the fuck was the name of that person? He went to talk to an individual about acquiring the right to use the teleportation circles.
Erasmus at the Wizards Institute Technossery.
Was that Erasmus?
Yes. No,
Wasn't
that
it someone? No. Okay. Well, he went to talk to my old teacher, Headmaster Erasmus.
I know of this Erasmus. He's been here to play cards several times. He cheats too.
I will believe it.
He's a good person, though.
Yeah, he's he's entertaining at least.
If Erasmus is involved, then it must be something serious.
Indeed. And I can tell you, I will do whatever is in my power to try and help you deal with this black dragon once it's all settled. But I do believe that the two biggest threats right now to all our nations combined is the undead to the south, and the raiders to your west.
He says to you, how many forces do you have committed yourselves from Coventry, young one?"
From Coventry, I do believe that indeed most of the army is there. They only left a skeleton force to defend the city.
That may seem wise, as I do not believe the undead would be able to climb up through the brewery and down the mountain the other side through the forest, cross the brook, and then to Coventry. Although, do we know if they're led by any intelligence? Is it just a roaming throng of undead, or do they have a leader and an agenda?
We do believe they have leaders among them, and we do believe they have an agenda, which is why we seek to close the portal and cut off their backline supports.
What is the agenda? What do you believe? I have to relay this all to the queen, and she will ask further questions, I believe. And the queen walks up, and at first you don't notice her, and then she puts her hand on the old man's back, and he turns kind of like he's scared, and you can see this dwarf with she has a rather beautiful facial complexion, and she has this very silvery hair. It's definitely more silver than gray, and it's braided down the side of her head on both sides, and she says, "It's it's not necessary to continue." Excuse me. She says, "It's not necessary to continue. I will continue speaking with him. You can go ahead and rest yourself." And he says, I, "Are you sure?" And she says, "Yes, I will continue talking to him." And he says, "Okay, as you wish." And then he steps back, and she steps forward, not beckoning you to come or anything like that. Uh, she kind of keeps her ground on the stairwell, and she says to you, what is your personal stake in all of this?
My personal stake is the life of my friends and my citizens.
You are to be our neighbor? Is this correct?
Indeed.
If you are to be our neighbor, then, and this is forced upon us, then I shall have to ask you several questions.
And I shall answer to the best of my knowledge.
Answer truthfully and to the best of your knowledge, as you say, and no harm will come upon you or your dragon friend here. And the tree is still there and looks visibly tense and is ready to possibly shield you or do something at any moment. It's ready.
I turn to her. You do not have to defend me. I am honored by the gesture, but if they feel that I in any way lie and am unworthy, I shall take my punishment and not endanger anyone else. I do not wish to seek any greater animosity between you and these dwarves. Your people and theirs have suffered enough at the hands of others.
Yes, I. That is one thing that I wanted to speak about. The Axe of Moradin. Your people have it, and she's speaking above you, past you, to the treant, and the treant says, "You have our endless bow," and the dwarf is disputing this, and the treant is disputing that they have their item, and the dwarf says, "How can you trust such people to you? How can you trust such people? You should have came to us for help only. How do you expect us to work with thieves?"
You say you do not have the bow. They say you do not have the axe. And then all of a sudden, a threat from the south arises. I think this is what that intelligence that we spoke of earlier indeed intended to divide us so we no longer stand united because they know that's the only way they can win this war, accomplish their goal.
But who would dare attack so many such nations combined together, or even
I
separate? What force would be able to take on the dwarves, or what force would be able to take on the elves and Emil Alda in her current form?
Any force that is able to renew their own forces with the fallens of the enemy. Such a force that is moving upon us from the south at this very moment. One that will never run out of units because they can simply raise them from the ground.
This this battle seems, if what you say is true, this battle seems hopeless.
Which is why we're trying to deal them a blow they do not expect by
The
closing the portal.
the dead outnumber the living by 10,000 to 1 easily.
Which is why we need to stand united. Because it's not a matter of if we will fall, it's a matter of when we will fall if we do not.
What plan do you propose for yourselves? There's just two of you. Where's your allies?
My allies are strong warriors, and a strong spellcaster. I do believe they are on a journey to acquire the means to close the portal to the south. This brave dragonborn, even though he's not a fighter or a mage, has offered to assist us in getting to that portal at great
Yes,
personal risk.
the swan song will get us there surely, undetected. If we go at night, it glides across the water with nary a sound. There's a beachfront we can make fall and anchor there. Provided we leave before daytime, I can stay anchored there. If not, I must depart.
And I do believe that you should depart until we return. It would be foolish to risk both your men's life and your own, to not to speak of such vessels.
We can fire cannons from the beachfront, but they will only reach so far, and it will attract much attention to our ship.
Indeed.
But this will help you. This will help you brave the compound easily. Well, easier. Otherwise, it's head on. It's a suicide mission if you head through Mordavia. And what about the frozen wall?
I do believe that to be thawing as the white dragon has fallen.
Someone slayed Jorman Araxos?
It would seem so.
Well, then the undead truly will be coming, as that wall has stood for 300 years.
Which is why we need to stand united.
For 300 years, it has kept the undead back. Just a few would dare climb the hills and peaks and slide through. But they would usually slide through in such a condition that even a child could take them down. It's quite funny, actually. Well, it's settled then. I will take you by nightfall. We will go around the cape. You go ahead and mount a attack from the beachfront, you and your friends, and you go ahead and make your way into the town of Corvallis, and you can either go find the portal. I don't know where the portal is, but it would have to be somewhere dark. So perhaps a previous religious building or a tavern or inn. It probably wouldn't be in a personal residence, but maybe. That's about all I know about portals.
I do believe I know where it is.
Well, you can tell me if you wish, and I will be able to keep a spot on that area if I can from the beachfront.
I tell him what I found out when I found out about the portal to the Shadowfell.
Oh, it's in the inn basement.
Indeed.
I wonder if that inn's still standing. If not, the basement surely still should be.
Yes.
The undead in the region will be immense.
I do believe so. And powerful, since this is, yeah, the portal they seem to be massing this attack from.
I can tell you that when I rounded the Cape to go trade up in Sentinel Hill, that Mithril Hills, that there was those night terror undead, those huge 18-foot abomination shadow men patrolling the shoreline like they were stalking my ship.
They're probably keeping an eye on you.
They scared my crew, especially when they fired upon them with cannons, hit them directly, and the cannonball just went through them.
That indeed would make most men shiver in their britches.
They couldn't cross the water, however, so we were safe.
I kind of address both the queen and Amilalder. So if any of you have any ideas of how we could terminate this portal or secure it so they would not be able to use it, I would greatly appreciate it.
Well, and Emil Alda says, if it's a portal to the Shadowfell, then it is powered by shadow energy. And the queen, the dwarf queen, she says, you mean the resnium crystals? And Emil says, precisely. The resnium crystals, those energies provided by the gods that have power in substance. Those are what power portals to different planes of existence. The shadow just happens to be of the necrotic variety. Black. If you find those crystals and destroy those crystals, and those forces undoubtedly guarding those crystals, you shall destroy the portal. As, from what I understand, portals can only exist for 1 week without a power source, and then they permanently wink out of existence, depending on how long the portal was in existence in the first place. But the power will eventually fade, unless it's reactivated again by some means. That is how all the portals to all worlds work.
I turn to the dwarf queen. You would not know of a manner that we could destroy a resonant crystal easily.
If you shoot a resnium crystal with a beam projectile from a gun crafted to fire resnium bullets, you can expend all the charges into the resnium crystal at close range, and you can fracture and possibly destroy it. Yes.
See, we're already working together to come up with a plan to deal with this threat.
I suppose that's true, but every time visitors have been allowed to interact with our people further into the city, we have been betrayed. Our bank has been robbed 6 times in the last 15 years, all by visitors, all drunkards, mind you. And so we put bans on the tavern.
How big are these steps?
How big are these steps? They are pretty big.
I pull out the table from my bag of holding. I pull out the chairs, and I pull out a bottle of wine and glasses. Then we shall not enter your city. But why not sit and we can talk this out?
We can talk this out, but afterwards I shall have to either grant you access to the city or deny you access to the city. Either choice has to happen. If what you say is true and our forces are indeed needed and we do come to an agreement, a form of perhaps payment or recompense, then I shall have to get the troops ready and you shall have to either wait or go elsewhere. But waiting here would, you would be welcome to use the market and the cathedral to pray if you venerate the gods, and if you wish to use the bank, you probably could have access to the bank as well, as it's connected to the Royal Bank of Silmaria, which is the World Bank. But first, let us drink.
Do you know what I actually have in my possession?
What?
I have that half keg from the fucking festival. The one that the Goblin kid stole.
Oh, from the Mountaintop Brewery?
Yeah!
Oh, shit.
I put that on the table.
All right. And you three are sharing a keg? And the old man, too. We'll put the old man, too. 4 people sharing the half of a keg. That is a lot of alcohol.
I put it on the table and then we can just drink what we have. Because I paid the gold to replace the losses of the barrel, the loss in the barrel. And, and so they gave me the remainder of the barrel.
Because the Mountaintop Brewery is the best, most expensive, and strongest alcohol in this world that is not wine. And you just laid a half a keg of it on a table
Yes.
in front of the queen and her guards, and they know how much that keg is worth. And the pure rarity of this alcohol, and they just look at each other and they're just salivating at this chance to have some of this alcohol. Any negotiations you make from this point on with that keg still in play is with advantage.
My sheer stupidity actually paid off. I had no idea what I would use this for, but fucking hell. I only paid it off to save that kid and get some more citizens to the city. And then, yeah.
As long as everybody's conscious still. Anyway. You can't negotiate when you're passed the fuck out on the floor flat with your with All right. All right. Very good. So Queen Asarion sits down at the table with you, and she says, "Rory, come here, sit down." And the two guards that are there too, next, like, that are up on their position, that are up above the rocks there in that way, are about 25 feet up, and so they could kind of only really hear what's going on, but they can't really interact with you guys like directly. Um, but they're two of the guards in between some of these pillars here, and I'll reveal some of these pillars. You've been here long enough. You can have that. And so these two guards up there, and they're motioning to the queen like, "Can we join? Can we join?" And the queen's like, "Yes, yes, let's go. Come on, hurry up. Don't have too much though. You're on watch." But chance to drink alcohol such as this doesn't come around too often. So hurry it up, with that they just boom, they just zoom away, and you don't even see them after a few seconds. And so the queen and Rory sit down at the table, and I assume that you're sitting down, and then Jinx sits down as well.
Yes.
All right, and so you're all at this table, and um, so the queen says to you, how did you acquire such an expensive alcohol?"
By sheer dumb luck, and in the attempt to save the life of a young goblin.
Ah, rewarded for a noble deed.
He was charged with the theft of this, and I paid the restitution to the person who lost it.
Oh, by
And
rights, the rest of it is yours. Yes.
yes, and that young goblin now resides with his family in Rivenheart.
That is a touching story. This city of yours, is it going to need supplies?
Indeed.
Shall we negotiate while we drink? Or did you just come here for the purposes of war?
In the main purpose was not war, but safety. Yes. But in this case, it...
Very well, we can talk safety. We can talk safety after we drink.
I raise my glass and say,
We're in no danger here at the immediate moment. Are we?
I see no danger. And I look all around and see. I only see people who are interested in peace.
Roll a perception check. You see a squat little halfling walking up the trail of, up the hill, this dirt path that leads into the entrance, and the dwarves there stop him at the gatehouse, and you recognize who this is. This is Grammon, the leader, well, the previous leader of Grammondale when it stood. He was one of the survivors that you helped when. Okay.
I turn to the queen and say, I do believe he's here to speak of safety as well.
Don't. Hey, don't I know you?
Indeed, you do, young Grimmin. And you do know my fellow compatriot as well, Fox.
Foxy, the doctor. Ah, I remember. You helped us down when we were in the catacombs.
Indeed.
Ah. Well, I thank you again for your assistance. We wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for you and your fellow. Well, Hey, where are they?
As of this moment, I am not completely sure that since we are here to speak of how to secure the south from the danger which you flee. I take out an additional glass, pour it, and I kind of extend my arm towards him. Give me
a con save.
Oh, goddamn, why did it have to be gone?
The queen chooses to pass.
Oh, fuck yes! Fuck yes!
All right. So you wash down this very smooth, deceptively smooth, creepingly smooth, strong, very sweet alcohol where you could barely taste any of the alcohol, but you know that it's there, and you know that it's strong, and you don't care. You just and you slam it down.
No, I think you misunderstood what I was doing. I was taking out a glass from my bag, filling it, and giving it to Gromit.
Okay. I thought you were drinking it too.
Well, I slowly drink my own.
Oh, well, that I was doing your save. Okay, well, let me do Grammon's save then.
But now I have my save for later. For this.
All right.
I'm gonna need it.
Grammon says, I needed such a drink. I've been on the road for such a long time. I just want to settle down somewhere. It's been such a long time since I've got a proper night's sleep. And he drinks the alcohol. He's whoa, oh, whoa, wow! What is this? Oh, this is good. Oh, this is good. You said this is alcohol?
Indeed.
Ooh.
I can tell you, if you're not welcome here, you're welcome in Rivenheart. You and your people are most welcome there.
All right.
Oh, you didn't hear. Just so you know, Troll made 2 clips.
Okay. All right. What did you make clips of, Troll?
When you started, when you fucked up, and then me playing drunk and sleepy.
So the queen says to you, "What kind of supplies can we offer you?"
Uh,
A starting town is going to need an awful lot of supplies. And how do you intend to pay them? Do you want to take out a loan?
I was hoping to repay in trade.
What do you have to trade?
Actually, we are not entirely sure as of right now, but we're having the lands away. The things we do know we have plenty of is good farmland. We have plenty of trees, and we have good clay.
We might be able to offer you supplies up front on the expectation of being paid. But what if you're not able to meet those obligations with your trade? It's a big risk, but the reward might be worth it to you. Are you authorized to negotiate for your entire city?
Not entirely, no, but yet I still have powers to secure the things we need, yes. And as a sign of good faith, I give you this. I take out the last of my paintings.
What's this?
The medium masterwork painting. The one
This is a wonderful painting. What does it signify?
a token of good faith. I do believe it's a good company, good conversation, good drink.
Are you going to need? Speaking of drink, are you going to need drink? Are you going to need steady shipments of ale? Do you have a proper ale house? Are you going to have a brewer?
As of now, we have no brewer, but indeed we do have people intending to start a tavern. So I do believe there will be need of.
Would you like a brewer?
I would.
I know one. I know one dwarf who's willing to start a trade off in a new city to show what he has. Does that
We shall
sound good to
welcome
you?
him. That indeed it does.
Finally, the two guards make it over there. And they're huffing and and the queen says, "You go fetch Alvin." He says, "Alvin." He says, "Yes, the teller in the bank." He says, I just ran all that way." She said, "Yes, you can have some of this delicious alcohol on your return. I assure you, you can have 2 glasses of this delicious alcohol on your return."
I take out another glass, I fill it, I put it on the table. See, it's already waiting for you.
He says, fine, 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 fine. He's he goes and takes off. He fades off in the distance, and you don't see him anymore. And she says, "So, come on." And she motions the other one to sit down, and he sits at the end of the table. And the table's now has 5 out of 6 spots taken. And she says,
Actually, wouldn't it be 6?
the queen. Let's see, the queen, the guard, the old man. That's 3. Jinx and you.
And the halfling.
Oh yeah, and the half. Yep. Thank you. And so the guard sits across from Grammon. Now that the table's full, then, and the guard says, "Okay, only one drink. I promise. I promise." And she says, "Okay. I remember what happened last time you got drunk on duty. I don't want you pulling that out again." And you feel like there might be a story there, but
I kind of like sent him a side glance. Yes, keep that thing packed away. I hear things about dwarves. I might feel inadequate after that.
he says, "I was on watch and I had to go wee. How did I know that there was a group of school children on their field trip behind me?"
I recommend you look next time. I give him a glass.
This is the good stuff. I think alcohol such as this is amazing before we go to battle. We need to make a plan. If you and your group are to, from what I heard, going around the Cape and landing on the beach, if you're going to do this, then would it not make sense for us to be the force up front, like pressing on them to press them away? Do you want us to press them away from your area, push them away, or are we going to try to distract them, or how are we going to do this exactly? We
I
haven't
do, but
we haven't seen their forces yet, the numbers or the type of forces. So the weapon preparations and everything would lead to you, and Emil, of course.
uh, I do believe that what we need to do is secure the southern border. And King Bernard and forgot his name again.
Jorgen.
King Jorgen have, and then I recite the plan about the cannons and all that, and the
Ah,
how they took
stone.
back the deserters and lay out what they've fought.
So the deserters are returning to Coventry in order to fight, and were given the weapons to do so. And the dwarves of Stonegate have large cannon drivers on top of the mountain for defense into the bombard positions throughout the valley. Is this correct?
Yes,
Who's the group going to secure the cannons?
I do believe that was. Actually, I forgot who that was, but
She
they
says
told us.
she says to you, "I would sure like to get a hold of one of those cannon drivers."
Well, maybe you'll be able to if everything goes well. But to ensure that happens, you would kind of have to agree to assist us in this.
There's one problem though. King Jorgen and I haven't talked for 70 years.
He's actually one of the people that said we should try and go and talk to you. So I do believe that
He
he
did.
missed talking to you and is hoping to reconnect with old friends.
Then why wouldn't that yellow belly do that 20 years ago?
I say take a kick of ale, go talk to him and kick his ass until he tells you.
I shall have to go pay King Jorgen a visit. I believe maybe things could be made amends.
Indeed, since a lot of things have come into A
If
light.
King
Like,
King Jorgen is a brave, very brave and strong ally to have, indeed. And if King Jorgen is amongst your allies, then I guess you can count us amongst your allies too.
I am honored.
At least in this regard.
And I do believe that once we've dealt with this, it would be easy to call upon said allies to deal with the other threats you have, like the
Speaking
Black
of
Dragon.
speaking of the other threats that we have, I don't want you going off and trying to divvy off my citizens to join your settlement. When you're out and about in the markets and visiting this town while we get the troops together.
I will honor.
Other than the brewer, of course, if he wishes to come.
I will honor that request. I shall not try to recruit anyone.
And the guard comes back with the brewer, and she takes off her leathers, and it reveals that she is indeed a female, uh, and she is not a dwarf but a gnome. And she says, yes, I'm very busy with some experimental things. Very tasty stuff. What does somebody need me?
Well,
The queen motions for you to speak.
I hear that you are eager to set out and prove yourself as a brewer of immense skills.
Yes, I am a banker, and everybody knows me here as a banker, but I am a brewer at heart, and I make some of the tastiest berry alcohols that you can possibly have. I'm very confident of it. It's just amongst these dwarves, I'm not given a fair chance. And
Well,
the queen's like, settle down, settle down. He might make you a nice offer here.
well, it seems that the fate has smiled upon you, seeing that I am a rather recent lord of some land to the south, and we have started a settlement there. But we do lack one important thing: a brewer.
How many people would I be brewing for in this settlement?
As of right now, it's still a rather young settlement, but I do believe that we are in the vicinity of about 120 to
What
150 people.
would I be given free reign to experiment with the alcohols to make better concoctions and possibly tastier concoctions?
If you can make anything to rival this, I pour her a glass. You have my blessings. Oh, fucking hell.
she she gets proficiency for brewer. So she drinks it and she says, "Ooh, ooh, ooh, this is tasty. Ooh, I can taste a little bit of lemon. There's some berry. Oh, this is really good. Wow, did you make this?"
No, I did not. This is from the Mountaintop Brewery.
This is very refreshing stuff. Can I make something this good, you're asking?
If you can make something to rival it, your name will go down in the annals of brewing.
I tell you what, if you get me enough of a crew together and I can teach them my methods and the methods of my folks before me and the folks before them, if I can teach a select few people that you trust these methods without them escaping, of course, I think I could. I think I could. But you have to provide me with the ample amount of the ingredients that I need. My experimentations sometimes turn out nothing. And so I tend to be a little bit wasteful with the ingredients, yes, but in the end it's going to be worth it. I promise you that.
I start laughing. I see the similarities between you and Brevine Wildwarden and Chica Fastpor.
Yes. I I venerate that god. Yes. How do you know them? It's
Oh,
un,
I
it's
actually
it's unusual
have
that a
seen.
gnome that a non gnome would even know of gnomish gods.
I reach into my bag and I take out the vial. I have met them. The vial with the dust from Chica
Yeah.
Fastpor.
Ooh, you have the vial of restoration. Oh my gosh, you did meet them. Oh my gosh, that
I
vial is
have.
worth so much. Do you want to
I
sell
have.
it?
I might bestow it upon you in the future, but as of right now, I do believe it would be better for me to hang on to it if we were to need it in our upcoming endeavors.
Do you know what it does?
I know it restored all my wounds, and I felt refreshed after it, but
Yes,
other than
that's
that,
that's one thing that it does. You take it, you pour some of it into your hand, and you throw it at a solid surface, and you create the shape of a door or a window, like as if you were drawing with chalk, with using this dust, and you create that into the surface.
oh, see, that could actually be very useful for the task we are about to undertake.
What task is that?
To end the undead threat to the south and destroy the portal that they come through.
That sounds like some serious business. I'm not much of a fighter myself. Will I be safe if I come with you to your town?
I cannot guarantee it, so if you wish to stay here until you either know that we succeeded, I can understand it. But know that you will have a place in the city as a brewer, and we will do anything we can to support you in this endeavor.
Well, I can stay here and get ready. It's going to take me a while to get my supplies together, and I'm going to have to pay for a coach. I have a lot of brewer supplies and hops and shipments that I'm going to have to ship over there. But I don't know if I have the money exactly to do all of that. I might have to wait until I earn enough money to do such a thing.
How much do you believe this would cost you?
Well, for the amount of goods that I already have with me, and all the valuable things in my shop that I own, and my own personal belongings, including the furniture, clothing, and things of that nature, I would say I would probably need another 2,000 gold.
Well, as a sign of good faith and to show that I'm a man of my word, here, I give her 2,000 gold.
What? You give what? Wh- Why? Why would you do that for me? I don't know you, mister.
Nor do I know you. But the queen wants for you, and that's enough for me. You say you're a skilled brewer. We lack a brewer. You are eager to brew something that can can match this, or maybe even surpass it. I see the potential in you, and I'm willing to take that chance.
You have yourself a brewer, sir. And you get you get 100%. Here, you write this down, okay? You get 100% alcohol coverage for a population of 500.
Well, dang.
So you get all the benefits, risks, and rewards that come with that. And she also has a chance to discover new alcohols. But that's for me to know and me to do on the side.
Where is my list?
All right, go ahead.
And if you go to his OnlyFans, you can get all the feed pictures you want.
Shh, we're not supposed to talk about that.
No. You said you couldn't talk about it. That's why I brought it up.
Hey, there's just shots of my feet. They don't know that it's me.
I'm sorry to tell you, but in about half your pictures, you can see part of your face. So if you combine the pictures, you can actually make up the issue. I keep telling you, you need to get a selfie stick. Your arms are not long enough, so you'll get some weird angles, man. Oh, and I don't know if you're aware, but you got 13 viewers.
Yeah, oh yeah, I see that. Cool. I appreciate y'all for watching. So, all right. So you're all drinking here at the table, and the goblin, or excuse me, the gnome, she agreed to be your brewer. I trust that she wrote down the benefits that you're going to receive for that, and that's going to help your citizen morale and things like that.
I have written down that we have an engineer, we have an invoker, and a purifier, and a brewer.
Yeah, yeah. You have the makings of a nice little settlement for sure. And you're trying to turn it into a trading post too, so it's going to be pretty sweet.
Also, we have an innkeeper and bartender.
Yeah, yes you do. Yes you do. You have quite a few bases covered, and now you just have to get the establishments down and the builders and things like that, and then once you get into your city, like there's nothing else for you to really do. You're in your city. You want to build. Then I'll give you the cost, how many builders it's going to cost, the gold cost, and all that kind of stuff. And then you guys can all pick what kind of buildings you want to make.
Yeah. But that's the stuff I kind of want to do with Fox and Liz.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah,
Shadow there.
Yeah, for sure. And you all can even divide up the districts, and like you put everything that you want in your district, and you're the mayor or whatever of your district, and they each all have their own districts with their own individual types of shops in it.
Yeah. But as of right now, I'm just trying to do what would benefit the cities the most. You can kind of say that I'm doing my part in my way. I'm not a combatant. I can talk.
Right. You're basically the emissary, the diplomatic one. You're the scholar. You're playing your part perfectly. Did you want to keep playing, or are you tired?
I am tired, but I think we should at least finish this little
Okay.
event.
All right. So you're all there drinking. The keg, there's a quarter left of what was left that you started out with, and they all say, are we gonna finish the keg, or did everybody have enough?
I am nursing this one, so I empty it and I take a new glass and I say we empty it and toast to new friendships and allies.
All right, go ahead and do a con save.
Can I use the 21?
Oh, a second. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty. I'll let you do that. That's fine. All right. All right, for the queen.
Okay, I was not expecting that one. Okay.
For the
I'll take it.
for the queen, here's for the soldier. Here is for Jinx.
Troll, that isn't even a lie. That
And
that that's just yeah.
and here is for Grammon. So you proceed to drain the rest of this keg, and Grammon just chugs it down. Said, "See, I can handle this. This is nothing." And he drops from the table.
I try to catch him.
Roll a sleight of hand or athletics.
I go with sleight of hand.
Okay. All right. So as he's falling backwards, you are able to take your right arm and you put it behind him, and you're strong enough that you're able to support him and keep him from falling down and tumbling down these rather large stairs, which where if he's standing up, he actually has to climb with his upper body strength to climb each stair. So you stopped him from going down a ways and possibly hurting himself. And then the guard is like, "Oh, this is some strong stuff. I can't have any more. Thankfully, it's gone. uh, I gonna go back. I'm gonna go to watch. I'm going watching bad guys."
Make sure that you look before you go to pee.
You remember the funny story I told? Okay, I will not pee in front of anybody. Oh, wow, that's strong. The queen says, "I wouldn't mind having myself a solid store of that alcohol, I must say. That was simply wonderful." And Jinx says, I might need to lay down soon. This is some wicked stuff."
Indeed, it is strong. Yeah, but at least it's in good company.
You got that right. I wasn't expecting to ride a giant tree into a forbidden dwarven city that hasn't allowed outsiders for some centuries. Jeez.
I told you at least you would have a good story.
Yeah, traveling with you always seems to be a good story. I remember meeting you in the Feywild. That I was lost, and here you come looking for some coats. It was very unseasonably warm where we were, you see, and you asked for coats, and I didn't expect it.
Well, I knew that we were going into the winter area, so we needed the coats. Did you ever manage to sell those Yeti furs?
Yes, I did, actually. I made quite a bit of cash on those, I believe. 600 gold.
Oh, that was indeed a good trade.
I could give you a little if you wish, since you just paid for the brewer.
No, just look upon it as a gift from Joaquin.
Aye, Joaquin provides. Joaquin is good.
Joaquin is fair.
There's a temple to Joaquin in Dalicarnassus that you might want to visit when you're there.
Indeed, I do.
Very beautiful architecture. The mosaic is wonderful.
I do enjoy fine things.
If you're looking for somewhere to sell your clay, you might be able to sell it to the temple directly. Get yourself a little bit of extra money on account of venerating their god.
Maybe. But first we would need to
Do
to
you
go get them.
do you also plan on having glass as well? They purchase lots and lots of glass.
Well, we might be able to make some.
That would be wonderful. You always want to have more than one source of income because if that source dries up, then you're done for. If you
Never put all your eggs in one basket.
Yes, that is the accurate saying. Yes. So, now what, friend?
I look to the queen. I
Yes,
do believe the ball is in your court.
very well. I will see to it that troops are assembled in defense. But what position? And do you want me to pull out the map again? I'll pull out the regional map.
Mm. I know we were talking about some place that might be good to send them, but I cannot remember where. Oh, I can remember. Um, I look at her. You have a teleportation circle here, right?
How did you? How did you know? How,
Um, the the mage from Coventry told me.
Crispin,
Yes,
that blabbermouth. Yes, we have one. Why do you ask? I'm curious.
because I am not a strong tactician. So why do we not go talk to someone who is?
So, what do you suggest?
That we use this teleportation circle to go to Coventry.
But we. What makes you think that King Bernard will just allow us to enter Coventry through a teleportation circle, a technology that has been forbidden between our civilizations for 200 years?
Because he's avoiding us to use it. Me and my compatriots.
Did you get
Uh,
permission from WIT?
Indeed. We got permission to use it 3 times.
And you're wanting one of those 3 times to be this.
As I said, I am not a strong tactician. The one of my friends who is not here. So I do believe it to be the best course of action.
So where shall we bring the troops in from? From what I understand, and she starts drawing. She asks if she can draw on your map because this is technically would be your map.
I let her.
All right. She says, "So Miller's Crossing is down here on your map. It's not quite on your map there, but it should be like if there was just a little bit more, your Miller's Crossing would be right there. And in fact, where the X is, there probably it would be the very outskirts of it. Some small farmhouses and things like that. Uh, but they provide all of the civilians in the area, the direct area, with crops and sustenance. All right, so we can go ahead and um, uh, the undead would be coming up through here from the swamp, but they have a chance to break off to go this way as well. That would lead them to Clog Sneak, which is primarily a goblin territory. I believe it was taken over by slavers and then reacquired most recently. And so it is mostly goblins, and most of them are the original inhabitants. But there are some other races that are involved there, mostly humans. It's goblins and humans.
Wouldn't Clocksneak be further to the south?
Yes, Clog Sneak is some journey from Miller's Crossing through the jungles. True, and some of those undead would get lost or drowned or fall in the tar pits or get eaten by the dinosaurs or very many things. Poison. I mean, there's a lots of things there that would be predators towards moving targets, slow moving targets such as them. There was a hydra, in the swamp, and it was, it would probably take not too kindly to the intrusion, I imagine.
Um, that, the last I heard, that Hydra was dead.
Really, such a towering menace such as the hydra.
We said the same thing about the White Dragon, yet that has fallen.
Such powerful beasts falling left and right. There's many powerful forces at bay here.
Yes, but you say that the best course of action would be to send your men there, your troops to that position.
Well, I do not know. I truly do not know the condition if it's worth doing that. Another way we can go would be around the vernal pools, or as I understand, that is where your area is. So most likely we could go through it and save ourselves 2 days travel easy by going through your territory and then coming.
You have my blessings to pass through our territory.
Very well. Then we'll save ourselves the time from going all the way around.
I take out a peach apartment and I write, um, these good dwarves does not come as enemies, but as defenders of the land to fight off the threat to the south. Uh, Asgrim, and then I give it to her, like, just in case.
Very well. That's very wise of you. So the first bit of resistance I can see us having with these undead forces would be right here in this valley. I can see that being a cut-off trench point. Unless this valley here cuts through as well. I can see either one of those 2 points being access for undead to come try to overrun your area. And you don't have any gates or anything like that set up right now, right?
None at the moment.
Any
But
solid structures whatsoever.
I am not aware of how long in construction the people are, but I do know that they are strong in making good defensive structures in a pinch.
And what are your people primarily?
Orcs.
Orcs. Ooh. Well,
Orcs and half orcs.
they will definitely battle with ferocity.
Yes.
So our we can have our forces attack possibly here if we encounter undead right here, or we can stop them here, or we can go ahead and, like I said, go up and around up the mountaintop brewery and come down the mountain into the valley itself as sort of like a cleaver and try to cut off forces from going further into the valley. And then the elven forces can go work their ways for the undead who are already in the valley, and we could kind of cut them off. Do you?
I turn to Emerald and I do believe that sounds like a strong plan. Would you not agree?
And Emil, she says, this plan does seem agreeable. However, how long would it take you to march your dwarven army up those mountains? And the queen, she says, that would be the longest portion of the journey. That is indeed a problem. But so Queen Asarian says, well, with your assistance, Emil, I do believe you can assist us up the mountain much faster. And she proposes basically for Emil Alda to give them a lift in her middle chamber where you all are located. And so it's going to be cramped as dwarves are loaded into this chest cavity with you.
I do believe many of my citizens would fight to defend their new home as well.
Well, as you said, you do not have very many of them, so we wish them to stay put, as each one of your citizens is rather valuable, and you do not wish to lose your area that is brand new to such a threat. To have them
No,
permanently occupy your area would
no,
be devastation.
yeah, but what I was thinking was that we could have them defend these areas, which would greatly reduce the area they needed to fight in and give them the advantage, and thereby securing this area that we could potentially use as a fallback area and a place to send our wounded. Hopefully, very few of them.
Where did you draw on the map?
Venom pools.
Oh, okay, and that's the fallback area.
That's what I was suggesting, yes.
Okay, that that sounds like a rather good suggestion. However, those areas are surrounded by hills. It's true we would be able to see the enemy from up there, but they can easily bombard our position from those hills, and we would be sitting ducks in such an open field, and trekking through shallow waters to get there.
Yes, I know. But the hills also gives us a little bit of defense.
That is true. How many of the trees do you believe are still standing?
Most of them.
We can send the queen says, we can send a contingent of dwarves to help bolster your orcs in their area. We can't spare too many, maybe 250.
It would be greatly appreciated.
Our main forces, which would number about 1,800, would be continuing on to either climb the mountains or hitch a ride or try to salvage Miller's Crossing. However, if Miller's Crossing isn't salvageable, we'll just have wasted several days worth of time trying to save it. So the choice is yours, Asgrim.
Seeing that we do not know the situation of Miller's Crossing, I do believe that it would be more wise to say it has fallen. And would greatly increase our chances of protecting the remaining of our territories.
You may
And
have you realize you may just have condemned hundreds or even thousands of people to their deaths, possibly, right?
yes,
Very well. The decision to ignore Miller's Crossing has been made, and so it shall be.
and then in the future, I will do whatever I can to help the people from Miller's Crossing that survived. But I do not wish for you to suffer any losses or any sadness upon your people for people who might already be dead.
And Grammon says, I just came from Miller's Crossing. That's how I got here. I came through Miller's Crossing. And yes, there is a lot of damage, but there's not terribly too many undead just yet. But they're arriving. People are leaving in a hurry. There have been some explosions, however. There's a contingency of force trying to save the shipyard, because that's the most crucial component of that city. However, they don't have any walls to defend themselves, so they'll be fighting pretty much in the streets amongst their own houses.
I see someone speaking in their sleep, but indeed they speak useful information. Well, if that is the case, then I do
I
believe.
I was sleeping a little bit, but I could still hear.
Well, that changes things a little bit.
The
Eh,
situation affects me too, you know.
Indeed, it does.
My wife and kids are still in Mordavia. I came seeking help.
Instead of addressing anyone else, I turn to the guard. Would you and your friends be willing to risk your lives on trying to secure Miller's Crossing?
The location is indeed very important to this continent. If Miller's Crossing fell, then we would be very much restricted in our access to other locations. It is of utmost significance to a great many of people, and therefore we would also be willing to rescue this here short gentleman's people in Mordavia. If the ice did indeed melt into Mordavia, then we would be able to go. Uh, we'd be able to either take a boat up the harbor into the city itself and defend from the docks inward, or we can go around. There's a bridge from Corvallis that crosses where the ice wall used to be. If it's not there any further, then we should just be able to walk right into the valley, and it's just a short, 3-hour trip or so to Mordavia proper.
I turn to the Queen. I guess we're going to Miller's Crossing.
Very, very well. I see you changed your mind. What caused you to change your mind?
I look to the guard and to Gromit. How can we refuse the plea and the advice of citizens, the people who live, the people who we are supposed to serve?
Uh,
It would indeed make me a poor leader if I chose to do so.
and Emil Alda says from the large entrance, um, and she has to kind of duck down on it, obviously, on her knee when she's talking to you all, and she says, "And where shall I attack at? Am I to give a ride? Am I escorting or securing the cannons on top of the mountains? My stride is much larger than yours, and I can get up there in an instant. I can also give forces a ride up there. Or we can go into the valley itself and try to cause as much chaos and destruction to the undead forces as we can, possibly splintering them off from whoever leads them."
That indeed does sound interesting, and it might actually pull enough attention away from us to the south when we go to try and take care of the portal. So,
And then she says to you, "From from what I understand, you and your friend here are to be locating your friends, and from what I understand, you are to leave on a ship to Dalia Carnassus. Is this not correct?"
indeed, to try and get the people who actually are capable of getting into this inn so we can close the portal once and for all.
The elves of Mogdalone over there tell me that Dalia Carnassus is under a blockade, and only select ships are able to get in. And Jinx says, I knew they were going to do the blockade. I just didn't know when. I thought I had time to get in. And she says, you still may yet be able to get in. However, your ship would be one of the last ships if you go now. And he says, it's true, my ship is one of the fastest ships that you can possibly sail on, but I don't know if we can beat the blockade. And Jinx says, if your friends are looking for any type of information or any type of magical gear or if anything like that, then Dahlia Carnassus surely would be the location that they would go to. I can't think of too many other locations besides maybe Silmaria that somebody would wish to go to.
Well, it sounds like that we need to change our plans and not go to Clock Sneak, then go to Dariakanassus straight away.
But you said you wish to get your vehicle.
Indeed, but we do have to take into account the blockade.
And the queen, Queen Asarion, she says to you, you can use your summon. You can use the summoning circle here. And after we finish drinking, if you wish to stay the night to wear off your troubles of the road and the drink in your body, do some shopping perhaps. The market and the bank is open to you. And then tomorrow, you can use the summoning circle in our temple, and you can teleport directly to Clogsneak. I will give you a letter of passage, and you shall be able to bypass several days of travel. And
I
then,
am grateful.
and then Emil Alda says, and after I drop off the dwarven armies where they were going to be fighting too, I can come pick you up and then bring you to the harbor so you can leave immediately. This will save you easily 6 days total of travel.
I am very grateful. And I do believe that is how we shall proceed then. You are far wiser in these matters than I am, so I trust your wisdom.
We've been at war several times. We know the area fairly well. I appreciate your trust in me, and I shall not lead you astray. Our forces will fight, and we will do battle with these undead vermin, and we shall protect our area and by extension your area in Coventry as well. Rivenhearth shall be safe, and you shall be allowed to grow and prosper as you wish. But in offering you this, I do offer you a word of warning that you shall not betray us ever. For if you betray us, the consequences would be devastation to such a young settlement such as yourselves.
I have no desire to betray any of you.
She's rolling an insight. Are you being truthful?
Yes?
She's not exactly sure. She says, the minds of other races are a little bit more short lived. See that you remember this several decades and generations from now.
I shall show my children and my children's children.
All right, and then so the drinking has concluded. You all have been there drinking liberally for 3 hours now at the entrance to the city. Mil Alda, obviously, she can't fit into the city past the point where the really the first landing, where the stairs meet the first landing there. that's kind of where she has to stay, and because the rest of it is not tall enough for her, and there's no practical way for her to move about. And so Queen Petra, she goes with you, and her assistant Rory goes with her as well, and you all walk, upstairs to a landing, down the stairs to a larger landing, up some stairs that are much larger to a larger landing, and then the stairs from there become wider and cover large gaps where if you look down those gaps, you can't see a bottom. You feel very cold air coming up from there, and you believe you can hear fucking monsters down there, gurgling and slapping tentacles and things down there, and occasionally you hear like some yelling and things like that. But it's very cavernous and very far down.
I kind of like grab the railing, like,
Oh, there is no railing, sir.
okay. Then I kind of like take a step back and I look at them.
And the queen says, it's okay. These stairs have held for thousands and thousands of years. They're not going to deposit you down into the abyss below.
I wasn't fearing that. I just got a slight case of vertigo. The drink was strong after all.
Oh, I see. Well, Sir Asgrim, if you wish to come with me further, we'll go into town. If you wish to be set up for the night, you let me know. Unless you're going to sleep with or in, I guess, Emil Alda.
I look back at her and like, am I?
And she's like, this shall be fine for the accommodations if you wish, Asgrim.
It would be an honor. But, that's. I follow the queen and kind of like.
All right, so you're after you conclude your business in the city, shopping and things like that, you're going back to Emil Alda then? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Did you want to do the shopping now, or are you tired and do you want to go to sleep? You could do the shopping and then the journey to Klogsneek and things like that next session.
I think we should do that next session because it's
All right.
It's 1:30 a.m. So
Okay, we'll conclude everything that's going on here in KazGador, your shopping and everything like that, and then you could portal, and then you'll probably be able to do all of Klogsneek, I hope.
yeah, I literally don't have much to do there. I need to speak to one person and then make sure that these couplings are safe, and then ensure them that we're trying to yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
by the way, give me a perception check, please. What, that was it, that 31?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, sorry. It didn't make the noise. Okay, so with that, you look around at the immensity of this underground cavern, and if the entrance was just a bit bigger, Emil Alda would be able to fully stand up in here and not touch the top. The top is so far away you can't even see the top anymore. You just see the stalactites coming down, and just from somewhere in the darkness above. You look around, you see there's a gold pit, and there's several carts and several dwarves pulling up this crane of massive deposits of gold, just huge chunks of gold, like pounds of gold per chunk. And you can see that there is a small cavern that leads to a larger cavern, and further on into the mountain itself, you think you can see some forges. But where you're at directly is a bustling market. You can smell the spices and you can hear the barkers barking out, trying to offer their goods. You hear people offering rare types of rabbit in this area, and that you can hear that there's a merchant trying to sell some herbs, and there's somebody trying to sell magic, and you can hear somebody preaching the gospel of Moradin. But the most important thing to you is you recognize somebody. On top of the roof of the bank, you see a familiar female. And we'll leave it there.
Oh, goddamn, she made it all the way up here.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thank you, YouTube. Thank you, DLive. I appreciate you all. If you enjoy this content, if you enjoy campaigns and you like hearing us talk and role play and have all this fun, then feel free to leave a subscribe. I have a Patreon, but it's not fully set up yet. I will let you know about that in my Kickstarters and things if I have any of those in the future. So thank you so much. I'm working on Resnium. It's coming out really cool. I got like 5 races pretty decently done, but I'm about to add like 12 more, so it's gonna be great. I'm gonna release it to play for you guys to test it out here soon. Just be patient with me as I work on a magic system and things like that for you. Okay, so thank you so much. Have a great day, and we'll see you soon.